Today I'm going to be doing a video showing you this new bilateral laser distance tool that I got. Now this is the Inkerma bilateral laser distance meter. What this does is it allows you to measure from both ends of the laser measurement tool. It also does area measurements, volume measurements, and so on. It'll record a number of your readings so you can go back and recall them. And I'm going to go over showing you a little bit about how this thing works. So first of all, it comes in this nice handy storage case you can put on your belt loop if you want. But in any case, let's take it out of there. Now this is what we have. This is the RS-393 from Inkerma. And it is, like I had mentioned, a bilateral measurement device. So it's going to have laser that comes out the front and out the end. So you can set this in the middle of a distance that you want to measure, say a wall, at any point in the middle of the wall, and the lasers are going to come out both sides. They're going to come out both sides to give you your total measurement. It's going to give you what the measurement is in the one direction and in the other direction, and then the total. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on so you can see what the display looks like. So you just click the double up arrow there and that turns it on. Now as you can see, it's set up to do the dual laser measurement right here. So if we were to take a measurement, say right now, let's just put this sideways and hit the double arrow button. It just took a measurement and it measured 6.259 feet in one direction from the back end of it going that way, and then 0.843 in the other direction for a total of 7.103. So it does that. You can change the mode, however. If you only wanted it to go out one direction or the other, you push this button down here in the bottom right. Now it's going to measure just from the bottom of the device in one direction. If you click it again, it'll measure just from the top of the device in one direction. Do it a third time and it goes back to measuring both directions. Now, one thing that's handy is you can see these little green lights. There's a little green light there and a little green light here at the bottom. That shows that it's in dual measurement mode. If you click this button, see, the bottom turned off, but this one's still on, showing you that it's only measuring one way. So that's just another indicator showing you which direction you're measuring. Now if you click and hold this bottom right button, it'll show you your saved measurement. So every time you take a measurement, it's going to save it. So, and then you can cycle through it. Whoops, sorry. Let's hold this button down again. You can cycle through it by clicking the plus and minus. So if you click minus, you can see the 13th measurement, the 12th measurement, the 11th measurement, and so on. And then if you want to delete any of those, you could just hit the delete button. So if we want to clear all those out of there, start fresh, there, I just cleared all of them out. And then you can start taking your measurements again, get them all recorded, and then come back and do whatever you need to with them. So a little bit about how the buttons work, as you've seen me already start to use those. If you just click the button, it's the little picture that's on the left. So for example, this button, when you click, just click it, it changes the, oh, you got to be in measurement mode first, but it'll change the direction of the laser. If you hold it, it goes into your data storage mode. That's the same that goes here. You just click it, it'll delete your measurement. If you hold it, it'll turn the power off. Same up here. This will go minus and plus for scrolling through the menus, but if you hold the one on the right here, it turns off the beeper. And if you hold the one on the left here, it changes your units. So let's go through the units a little bit while we're talking about that. So let's click and hold it. Now, let's first take a measurement so we can see the impact of our measurements. So you can see how it's changing from meters to feet in decimal. Then there's inches with decimal. And then there's feet, inches, fractions, which is where I'm going to leave it, because that's the way I like to measure. Now there's other things that you can do with this, such as if you click the button down on the bottom, you can measure area. So that's the one that measures area. So you're going to take two measurements, a measurement this way, then a measurement this way, and then it'll calculate the area for you. So let's just do that. Say we were trying to measure the area of a wall. Take your first measurement, and I got an error, I'm sorry, because I had it setting down. So let's take our first measurement. Let's go this way. Take our second measurement, and you can see that it calculated the area for me. So other functions that it has is it can calculate volume also. So you would just measure in 3 directions and it would calculate a volume. You can also calculate triangles and or the length of a, you can like measure the hypotenuse of an area and so on. So you can just cycle through, and whatever you see blinking, that's what it's going to measure, with the other 2 solid lines as the inputs. Now some of these I don't know when you would use an application like this, but it may be something that you need. And you just continue to cycle through all those. So another cool thing you can do with this is, let's clear our measurements. You can have a running total of your measurements. So if you first click the measurement button and get a number. Well, first time I turned it, clicked it, it turned it on. Click it again, it'll take the measurement. Then click plus. Then click measurement again. And that gives me my 2 measurements is my total. But if I hit plus again, it'll take that total I had plus my next measurement. Hit plus again, another measurement, and so on. So if you want to have a bunch of different measurements and you want to add up that total distance, you can just keep adding it to this and it'll just keep totaling those measurements up. So just like we use the addition feature, there's also a subtract feature. So you can subtract one measurement from another. So if you took one measurement, you can see that was the measurement, and then you can hit subtract and measure again. And you can see the difference in those measurements. Now you can do this in dual measurement mode or in single measurement mode. Now another thing it can do is it can record a min and a max measurement. So if you just hold down the arrow, it's going to record a min and a max. So if I go closer, you can see that min number. If I start going further away, you can see the max number changed. So, and down here, you can see that it's just a live measurement of whatever measurement I'm making. Now you can only do this in one directional mode. You cannot do this with the laser measuring out both sides. Another feature that this device has is an angle measurement. You can use it to measure angles either this way, sideways, or if it's flat down this way, it'll measure the angles. So that is a nice addition to this, because if you are measuring something over a long distance, it will be nice to know if you're exactly horizontal or not, because if you're not, that will affect your overall distance. So when you're making your measurement, you can make sure you get right down close to that 0 and then make your measurement. So that is a nice addition to this unit. Now the size of this thing, let me show you. Let's measure the size of this. It's roughly 4.5 inches long by about 2.25 wide and about 1 inch thick. So it isn't a tiny unit by any means, but it also is not unreasonable in size. One other thing I want to mention is it's rechargeable, which is nice. So underneath this door here, which is a little hard to open by the way, is a USB-C port. So it charges using USB-C, which is a nice addition. You don't have to worry about your batteries going dead. Now this unit, based on its model number, it gets its model number based on the distance it can measure. So in theory, this can measure 393 feet. Now, I have not been able to test it under that distance because I just don't have anywhere to do that except outside. And outside is pretty tough because it gets washed out with the sun under, long distances like that. But, I have been able to measure it indoors at, 50, 60 feet without an issue. So as far as the 393, I just don't know where or how you would need to measure something that far anyway. But yeah, and you just saw it turn auto off. So it turns automatically turns off after a certain amount of time to help save on your battery. So anyway, I want to thank Inkerma for sending this model to me. I wanted to provide an unbiased review of this. It does come in at a good price point. I mean, it's $50, which for something that has all this capability, the dual laser measurement and so on, and the angular measurement, I feel like it's a strong unit for that price. So go ahead if you're interested. There's a link down below. You can go to it on Amazon and you can purchase this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.